welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
How have you been?
I've been good. I just
Good.
saw you. Thank you for
I
coming to
know.
the show.
Yeah, of course. It was amazing. I've never laughed that much. I'm not even
Are
joking.
you serious?
I'm dead ass. Like, everyone was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Raajiee. I'm a stand-up comedian from
Yeah.
Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
An amazing stand-up comedian, can I just say?
Since you've been to the show. I also work in IT. Grew up in Montreal,
Very
always
nice.
been in Montreal, traveled a bit, but that's about it.
Love that, love
Yeah.
that. What has been your biggest struggles, do you think, as a female comedian in the Tamil community? Because obviously you don't really see many of us within this
Yes.
space. I feel like it is
Yes.
very male dominated.
100%. I started off comedy in white spaces. Started off in Montreal, and we're not as diverse as London, so it was really hard to explain my culture and like my upbringing and whatnot. That's always been a struggle. I did 2 like Tamil shows, I think like a couple of months after starting comedy in Montreal itself, and it went really well. People were like enjoying it and like whatever, and I was like, wow, there is space for comedy
Yeah.
in the Tamil community, but it's just not explored yet. For example, like music are a bit more renowned
Yeah.
because like historically they've always been renowned too. But if you think about it, like stand-up comedy and storytelling historically has always been there too. It's just that it got a negative connotation because people started using stand-up comedy to I guess some people perceive stand-up comedy as being too edgy. And it's like, oh, like you discuss like taboo topics and all that stuff. But like no, there's
Yeah.
humor in every single thing that we do. There's humor in our households. Being Tamil, we're obviously like deeply impacted by trauma from the war and whatnot, right? It's almost like, oh, but we shouldn't talk about that. It's
Yeah.
so deep rooted, and there's a lot of like intergenerational trauma because of the war too. It's like we shouldn't talk about, and more so as a woman, you shouldn't even talk. It's been interesting, and I make a joke about this. When I started doing comedy, my parents were like, okay, she's gonna quit, like she's not gonna do this. They just wanted me to like go back to like working and like maybe doing my master's or like whatever. I think like a couple of months down, like I got Just for Laughs, which is the biggest comedy festival in the world. And it was like super renowned and all that stuff. And then they were like, oh, like this is kind of getting serious and
Yeah,
like
she
whatever.
can actually do this now.
Yeah, she can actually, yeah, exactly.
But that's the
And
thing. I feel like with Tamil parents, like it is more so a situation where like as long as they can see you're excelling in it, they'll accept it.
but also like they didn't have anyone that they could point to and be like,
Yeah.
oh, so and so did it. So like
Yeah.
that's what she's doing, you know?
Yeah.
We don't really have anyone that we could refer to. It was very, very new to them. And then when people would ask like what I'm doing, because I started posting on
Yeah.
socials, like people would start reaching out to them and be like, hey,
Yeah.
like what is she doing?
Yeah.
And I mean, sidebar, I'm the youngest of 5 girls.
Okay.
So like growing up, I've always been shut down and like you don't speak, you're too young, you don't know
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, like it's just like constantly like none of your opinions matter. So then like I was like, okay, so I can't speak up in a room. But then I did this comedy thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, with the microphone, it's just you feel so powerful. You feel like you
Yeah.
could like change the world.
Yeah.
People started calling my parents and they were like, oh, what is she doing and all that stuff. And they were like, oh, like she's doing like motivational speaking.
I love that that's what they call it. But do you know what you are?
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
I think it's like inspiring. You know what I
talk about
mean?
stupid shit too. But yeah, no, so that was the journey to that. That's my
Yeah.
parents really like they accept it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in London and I came purely to do stand up to try to see if
Yeah.
I could do well in the UK. I mean, at first they weren't really accepting of it. My mom really does not want me to go far from Montreal. But like I think that's so normal. Like it's
Yeah,
just
100%.
But no, they totally understand and they're like, "Okay, we just want you to be happy."
Oh,
yeah.
that's so cute. I'm
Yeah.
glad they've finally been able to come around because
Yeah,
I feel like
they
that's like a
see-
big struggle. In
They
the Tamil
see how much I
community.
enjoy it. They see that like
Yeah.
I'm putting in the work. Like I've never worked hard at anything like I've worked
Yeah.
at stand up. So
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's paying off. You're doing so many shows.
I don't know. Yeah.
Anything coming up?
Oh my god, I have so many gigs coming up.
What's been your biggest fear in the Tamil community and like your experience thus far as like a woman and like a woman in comedy especially?
Simply put, like stand-up comedy is so new for
Yeah.
Tamil people that they don't know how to take it. There are some, I'm sure there's a small percentage of like people who do go to stand-up comedy shows and they're like, okay, like the whole point of it is that people share their stories and there's humor in life
Yeah.
and whatever. There's different like art forms in stand-up itself and you can laugh at it and it's
Yeah.
okay to laugh at it.
Yeah.
Unless you do it, you don't
Yeah.
know what is the line and how can you
Yeah.
cross it or not cross it and
Yeah.
how can you find humor in it.
Yeah.
So I just find go to stand-up comedy shows.
No,
Like
100%, guys. It's honestly
it's
hilarious.
so fun. You learn so much. You get to meet different people. It's a great way to socialize.
100%.
There's so many people that come alone to stand-up comedy shows all the time. It's just like, yeah, so it's very new and whatnot. So I feel like it's so hard to get people to be like, hey, this is fun, come to this.
Yeah.
Even selling tickets to my show, honestly, like I worked really hard.
Yeah. The TikToks loved it.
Yes, and in a good way though. Like
Yeah.
I'm now posting more, which I wasn't
Yeah.
doing before.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it just started the engine, and I'm hoping that I continue it. But Tamil people just don't know much about it. Go to shows. Sundar's performing on April 26th. That's gonna be a great show. I've been opening for him. It's been amazing,
Yeah.
truly, because I think he's really is opening up Tamil people to comedy.
100%.
It's a journey. I think we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
I think little by little.
I
know
think the
he's
space is
pushing
starting
it.
to open 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Sundar's like trailblazing it.
Yeah.
Especially for the queer community. I hopefully some women start to do comedy once they
Fingers
come and see
crossed.
me. Honestly, like, and I put out like a casting call type of thing. Like, it's like, hey, if you want to start like stand up comedy, reach out to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll put you on the show.
Yeah.
You know. But there's so many people that reached out to me, but in the end, they didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I
think
get
it's
it.
also that like kind of like fear. Do you know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah,
like, as you
100%.
said, like people are sending it to your parents. It's like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna say?
Absolutely.
You know, like,
it's
same
the fear
time,
of
it's like,
rejection.
yeah.
We all have it. We all have
Yeah.
it. Let's say like you're like writing a script for a movie or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Like you can write the whole thing and whatever, and then you get to the mailbox, and if you don't send it,
It's
that's the
not gonna-
fear
yeah,
of rejection
exactly.
that's stopping you from the possibility of even getting accepted into
Exactly.
it. So unless you try it, you don't know. And it's easier said than done, but I am doing it, so I can say it.
Exactly. You're trailblazing it for women.
I hope so.
I also think women are funnier, but you know, that's another conversation.
I do think so too. I think women are funny.
Yes.
And at my show,
Yeah.
there was a group of men who were talking over me many times.
Was it the ones at the back?
Yes, absolutely. They were talking over me so many times, and I
Yeah.
did call them out on it.
Yeah, you did.
There's a few comics that called them out on it, and it's just, again, it goes to show. So as a woman who's Tamil in the community, also doing stand-up, you have to work 150 times
Yeah.
harder than any man ever will have to.
So, do you feel pressure to like get married, settle down, and how do you handle that?
Yes, absolutely. My parents are talking to marriage brokers right now. And, so we went to Sri Lanka last year. My parents, every single house that we went to, were like, what about this guy? And I'm like, no. I don't know what about me like screams like, yes, you could get married to someone from back
Yeah.
home. It's not like, no disrespect to the men back home. It's just that when you're born in a Western country or like in the UK
Yeah.
or whatever, and you grow up with like very different cultural references,
Yeah.
it's really hard to explain that. And
Yeah.
it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
If I fall in love with someone organically from back
Yeah.
home, it's a different story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I fell in love with them for a reason and whatnot. But
Yeah.
then this, it would be so like forced upon, and sure, I can get to know him, but like how?
Yeah.
The pressure to get married obviously stems from the fact that we have a biological
Yeah.
clock. And it's tough.
Yeah.
Like I'm 29.
Yeah.
And I know the clock is ticking.
Yeah.
And anytime I go to like my doctors or whatever, or if I had to see a
Yeah.
gynecologist for like a routine check, they're like, so like, what do you think? Like, do you want to have kids? And I was like, with
Yeah.
who?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
you know, obviously there's so many options now, right?
Yeah.
Like you could go to a sperm donor and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Even
like,
like freezing your eggs.
you can freeze your eggs, and that's the thing. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm like looking into freezing my eggs. I think I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it in the next 2 years.
I think it's a good option for
Yeah,
a lot
why
of women
not?
because it just allows you to like think
Live your
without that-
life,
yeah, 'cause
without
if
a
men
clock.
don't have to have that pressure, why do we? And modern medicine exists for a reason.
Absolutely.
So I think as women we need to know our options better.
Absolutely. And that's something
Yeah.
that like, you know how like, okay, you know how like our moms don't let us use tampons?
Yeah.
Like freezing your eggs, I brought it up to my mom. She was like, they're gonna do what to your uterus? And I was like, they're just gonna take the eggs or whatever. She's like, "Adelam thoda kurade." And I was like, oh my God, here we go. Like, it's like, you know, when we
Yeah.
got our period, they gave us like all the nalline and the mutte and like all those things. And I was
Yeah.
like, actually, shouldn't my eggs be like so fucking strong? Like, because you
Yeah.
guys gave us so much shit. So like, what are you worried about? They'll be fine if they're
Yeah.
frozen. But no,
I
it's
get it. I think for them it's also that like cultural, spiritual kind of side of things. things with religion and
Absolutely. Yeah.
culture. Do you feel the pressures of social media as a Tamil woman?
Oh yeah, 100%. And especially as like a comic, like it's like now
Yeah.
we're in the era of stand-up comedy where you need to post crowd work.
Yeah.
You need to post regularly in order to get followers, and that's something that I am not good at doing
Yeah.
because I do stand up purely for the joy of being on stage and like getting laughs. That being said, every time I post a clip, there's always going to be comments of like not funny. Women are not funny. If you go, I have a clip on YouTube that I did for Just for Laughs.
Yeah.
There's great comments. Honestly, like everyone's been so
Yeah.
so lovely. And then like at the bottom it'll be like women are not funny. Women are not funny. And I'm like, get like come up with something new at
Do you know
least.
what I mean? And it's also just like, why are you lying? Just say you don't have humor. Like, one thing
Yeah.
with me is I feel like men just don't understand like female humor.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like female humor is very like niche. Do you know what I mean?
It's also
very like
clever.
so smart. I feel like it's sarcastic and just like witty.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like male humor is just like rude.
Okay,
Whereas,
yes. I mean, some of my like favorite stand-up comedians are male.
Yeah.
And they're killing it. Clean comedy, they're not bashing on like women and like
Yeah.
those kind of things. But then there are many that are doing that and they
Yeah,
got their clout because of that.
exactly.
Which is why also Sundar is setting a great precedent for that, where like he's
Exactly.
not bashing on women in his stand-up.
Exactly, because that's the thing from a lot of the Tamil comedians I've seen, and this is where I think I agree with you. There's that gap in the Tamil market.
Yes.
It is like almost taking the piss out of our own experience. It is just laughing at ourselves, and I think one thing that's good about that is I think it removes the shame culture we have in our
yeah.
community.
And like having people like that is great because unless you see someone doing it, then you won't be you won't know. That's why it's so important representation too, right? And like
Exactly.
in stand-up comedy, like right now, like we really don't like I can't think of another Tamil woman
Yeah,
who's doing it.
I can't either.
And that sucks.
Yeah,
Because I think more of us need
that's
to
the
do
thing.
it. Naturally, people don't think that women are
Yeah,
funny, so it's like it's not going to be any different for a
yeah,
Tamil woman.
exactly,
Yeah, they're going to be
exactly.
like, "Oh, what is she going to joke about?"
Yeah, and I feel like that is, as you said, like that kind of image of like Tamil women should be seen and not heard. So it's
Yeah.
like, who's gonna listen to you anyways?
Yeah.
Type of attitude.
Yeah, but it also stems from the fact that like growing up, my mom, it was just like so much pressure to her, especially from like
Yeah.
extended family and whatnot. It's like, oh, your daughters are gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, your daughters are gonna fuck up, and we're gonna be there to watch it. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so much pressure, and then all these people who will talk shit, their kids will go on and do like some shit, and then they'll be like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People love
That's
to
what I'm
talk shit. People
saying.
love to talk shit regardless.
'Cause
But
this,
when you're a
yeah.
woman and you're a parent to just daughters, oh, you are privy
Yeah.
to all the criticism in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Simply because you don't have the backbone that your son or that they don't have like a male figure in the
Mm.
form of like their kid to
Yeah.
like come and defend their name. But people love to talk shit. People love to
Yeah.
talk shit, whether you're all, daughters, if you have one daughter, if you have two daughters,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like people love to talk shit.
I feel like as
People
soon
love to
as you
talk shit
have a
about women.
daughter.
Women love to talk shit about women too.
Oh. That's why I'm glad we're having this conversation, because honestly, like when I saw your Instagram at first, I was just so, I think it was the weed video I saw first, lol. And I was like, damn, that's like zero shame.
I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for that video.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that like someone will pick it up and be like, can you believe it? I'm a woman like that. Oh,
Yeah.
my brother-in-laws will be the first ones to cancel me. But like, I really don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm really happy. I'm doing my shit. I really hope that I can go far with stand up. And, once people see that you are successful doing what you're doing and being authentically yourself, then they'll come around to accepting you, I think.
Yeah.
And if they don't accept you, then that's really a reflection on themselves, right?
I agree. And I think also it's like, why would you want people in your circle or around you
No,
that do
yeah.
not
Yeah.
accept you or judge you for the choices that you make?
The reason why I started stand-up comedy was during the pandemic. You'd be on FaceTime all the
Yeah.
time. So like me and like two of my really like good friends that like one from high school, one from like uni, we used to have like a group FaceTime and we would just talk about absolutely anything and
Yeah.
everything. And they'll be like, yo, my dad today like did this, right? And then I would impersonate my dad. They would start laughing and then they'd be like, yo, you're actually so good at this. You should do stand-up. And I was
Yeah.
like, should I? But that's the origin story of it. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for my two girls, like I don't know if I would have done it. And they were
Yeah.
very encouraging of it. They came to like my first first stand-up show. They've been supporting me since, and like I have a whole group of like, I obviously different like friend circles and whatnot, but I have a really good support system of girls who just want the best for me. And it was so nice because leading up to the show on Saturday, it was just like message after message of like everyone, like, it's like, are you ready? Oh my God, good luck, you got this, whatever. And then post the show, it's like, how did it go? Tell me. FaceTime the whole day, one after
so
the other, of
cute.
like talking to everyone. The other thing is that when you find your circle, when you find your people, it's like you have to hold on to them. You're gonna evolve in life, you're gonna grow, but you could still hold on to those friendships. Whether you evolve at the same pace or not is a different story, but you could still hold on to those friendships because they were still a support system to you at some point.
Yeah,
and they will support
exactly.
you regardless of how you evolve and grow if they are a true friend.
And I think also it's like friendships change and dependency also changes as you grow as individuals. Like I have
Yeah, you need
friends
different
from like
things.
high school who, okay, I might not reach out to as much anymore,
Yeah.
but like there's still like little messages they'll send me. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just like little things like that that make you realize like people are always there. It's just in their own capacity and that's okay.
Yes.
Like I think, yeah.
But there's so much beauty in it. Like once
Yeah.
I started comedy, there was this one of my best friends right now, but she reached out to me and she wanted to come see a stand-up show.
Yeah.
Just like because like we also had like some mutual friends and whatnot. And then she came, she saw the show, and then she was like, hey, she's like, I want to start stand-up. So she
Yeah.
started doing stand-up like I think like 3 months or 4 months later. As soon as she started comedy, it's like we had that in common.
Yeah.
And now we just like talk every day. We're like, yo,
Yeah.
I did this gig, I tried this joke.
Yeah.
We write together, we help each other out.
Yeah.
We're looking out for opportunities for festivals
That's
and like
so
writing
beautiful.
and all those things. And it's just, it's like there is no better investment than a female friendship, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I agree. That's why I think it's so important to find like worthwhile female friendships. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? That like will invest in you and you can invest in
Yeah.
them freely without any judgment, expectations, or anything else.
Yep.
So how do you feel about like kind of like the larger South Asian representation, especially being like Ilam Tamil? Like how do you feel kind of breaking out into these spaces? Do you feel included?
It's very unique. We don't have enough representation, obviously. No, I don't feel included. I feel the need to, I don't know, I guess force myself into
Yeah.
those spaces. There's so much like imposter syndrome when they say like, it's like, oh, this is for like South Asian. And I'm like, okay, but I am, right?
Yeah. So, because you're not, because I feel like a lot of South Asian spaces are dominated by like the Pakistani, Punjabi, North Indian community.
Yeah,
And
the
it's like,
Indians, yeah.
that's fine, but it's like,
Yeah, where do we fit in?
use a different title
Where do we
then. Do you know
fit
what I mean?
in?
Because
Yeah.
it's like, it doesn't have that kind of almost inclusivity. Like, I've gone to shoots, for example,
Sure.
and all they play is Punjabi music, and I'm just like, hey. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
no hate. Like, Punjabi music slaps. Love it.
Or like
But like,
when I like, because Montreal's so white and whatnot,
Yeah.
and it's like my neighbors just assume that I'm Indian.
yeah.
And then it's like I have this joke about how like I still haven't come out to my neighbors as Sri Lankan. Like this whole time they were like she's doing like the, you know, like the turning the
Yeah.
light bulb dance at home.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, hey, actually we don't do that.
Yeah.
You're racist.
We just do like the moves instead. How do you explain the moves to a white person?
You don't, because they don't have rhythm. So
That yeah, when they culture appropriate it. No, but yeah, like I feel like there is such lack of representation. Like I know for me, like
Yes.
I always like almost find myself making it a thing to mention that I'm Ilam Tamil.
Yeah.
And mention the Ilam Tamil struggle, because it's like if I'm not going to, I know it's not going to be spoken in this
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And I think as much as it's like, obviously, like I want to do that because at the end of the day, you want your history represented, you want your representation, etc., etc. But it does almost feel a bit taxing at times,
For
a
sure.
bit kind of like, why is this on me?
Yeah, I want to touch on that actually. So like I find, especially in the last few years, I've been trying to educate myself on it. I mean, I talk to my parents about it and they're
Yeah.
very like kind of like standoffish when it
Yeah.
comes to like telling us about the struggle. Sometimes if you catch them in a good mood, like they'll be like, oh, like, you know, and like
Yeah.
this was like the fourth war, this wasn't the first war.
Yeah.
83 was like, and I was like, oh my God, like that's so mind blowing to know that this has happened before, not to this like, you know, extent. But yeah, it's good to educate yourself on these things. And I wish we had more resources to educate ourselves on it. And it really sucks because that's also part of the ethnic cleansing. I think everyone at like Tamil Guardian and like Pearl and all those people, they're doing amazing. Like, and just like posting about things and like it's getting a great reach.
And I think the community are building better resources, like
It's getting
institutions as
it's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
Like the next generation, especially. I mean, our generation too, but like I don't actually. We're not in the same generation. You're Gen Z. You're Gen Z, are you not?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Ew. No, I'm kidding. I love Gen Z. Oh my god. Sidebar. I was at a comedy show like a couple of weeks ago, and there was a girl. She was Gen Z. She was sitting in the front row. And then the comedian was a millennial.
Yeah.
Like she was like talking to like the girl. She was on a first date with this guy from Bumble.
Yeah.
And then she was like, how old are you? And then she was like, how old do you think I am? The host was like, I don't know, like maybe you're like 27, 28 or like something like that. And she's like, oh, I would never. You think I'm a millennial? I would never. And then like she was so like repulsed by it. And she's like, I can't believe you would think that I'm, oh my God, I would never. And then the host was like, oh, okay. Why? What's wrong with millennials? And she's like, I don't know. Like, honestly, like your style, your sense of dressing.
No lies, I'm joking.
So, and the host was wearing like such nice clothes. Like she was wearing like, you know, I think you guys call it dungarees.
Yeah.
And like a white t-shirt or something like that inside. It was so nice. And then she was like, oh, like she's like, is there something wrong with what I'm wearing? And then like the girl, the Gen Z, she was like, well, it's not wide legs, so that's how I can tell you're millennial. Get over it, people. It's just like it's like so weird because like if you go back in like history or something like that, it's like which war was better, World War II or World War I? It's like they just happened at different times, obviously, and they were like different events and like whatever, but like they happened at different times. You can't.
And like the millennial era was fun. Like 2012 Tumblr was lit. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
are you kidding me? MSN was amazing. MSN was so good. Like, I mean, you compare it to like this generation right now. When you had MSN, if you liked a guy, all you had to do was send a nudge.
Yeah, like these men are out here fucking DMing, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Like, it's like, you're cute. And like, what are you doing? What kind of food do you like?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, no, shut up.
Yeah, literally like, bye. No.
I just wish that, like, honestly, with the dating stuff, I just wish that, like, people would be more direct. And I feel like Gen Z is very direct.
Are we?
I think so.
Interesting.
So far from what I've seen, you guys are very much like to the point. It's like, yo, like your outfit sucks, or like your.
I think we're more harsh.
Fair.
I think we are more harsh.
Cutting the bullshit. Let's do that.
Yeah, we're good at cutting the bullshit. I will agree.
I like
with
that.
Yeah.
That's why I fuck with Gen Z.
Thanks. That's why.
I mean,
that's why we fuck with you too. Well, some of us. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did. It was so fun. Thank you.
I'm glad. So, when's the next show? If you wanna do a little free promo.
Oh my god! But I want to do like a Tamil women's night out, and I want to make it like 23 plus.
I'm 22.
Oh, sorry, you can't come.
Oops.
Oh my god, do you want to record that and put it as a snippet?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
This is the Gen Z's being left out, guys. I'm joking.
Yeah, so we're gonna have an event. You can't come, but that's fine.
I'm sure there'll be one for us soon, guys.
Yeah, you guys make it 23 and under. It'll just be like an audience full of girls being like slay queen. Every joke.
Wait, hold on. Do we even use slay queen anymore, guys? I'm joking.
Oh, shut up. Come to my next show. It's gonna be like a Tamil girls night out. We're gonna talk about growing up as a Tamil woman. We're gonna make fun of everything and everything. We might play a little game too.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think I want to change the format of the show a bit. I've learned a lot from producing my first show in the UK. Yeah. We're gonna have some funny comics. I think it's gonna be mostly women on this lineup.
Good.
And yeah, I think it's gonna be a great time. Let's just have like a Tamil girls night out.
Yeah.
If you have kids, if you don't have kids, if you're married, you're not married, you're queer, you're not queer, come through.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
leave your
definitely,
husbands at
guys.
home.
Because I know a lot of people message saying they regret not coming to Amplify Her. So you have another Tamil Women's event coming up.
Yeah,
so definitely be there.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming. It was honestly an amazing conversation.
Yes.
I hope you had So much fun.
I did. Thank you
Spilling
for
the
having me.
beans.
Yes.
Remember to like and subscribe, guys. And if you have any suggestions for any episodes, please do fill out the call out form in our bio. And stay tuned for more episodes of Oru Kural. But thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.